Here's a look at what that track is, and you can see it's making its way west-northwest, and it's moving just north of Mexico City as we eventually approach Thursday. So that's the main track it's following. As it makes landfall tonight, it's just south of Cancun. So that's the main track over the next 24 hours. Let's take you back to our local forecast as we do see a lot of clouds pushing through the area. You're seeing that gloominess factor, but not much in the way of rain. In fact, a lot of those heavy showers are well down to our south and west. The heaviest of the rain down in the mid-Atlantic. Those are the showers we're watching for late tonight into early tomorrow morning. This is the kind of rainfall that will produce those downpours and that potential for some flooding in spots, especially down to our south. Temperature-wise, of course, we're struggling to warm up because of all those clouds in place. Many of us right now dropping down into the 70s with Boston at 74, but you head out toward Worcester, it's the 60s right now, and we have a few 60s as we continue to stretch outward toward Pittsfield. So this is the progression of the rain tonight. Initially, we do see that spot shower potential, but it's nothing widespread. Then we move into the late overnight hours, 11, midnight. That's when we start to see those downpours down to our south, making their way northward, making its way toward the south coast and onto the Cape and Islands. And it's after midnight that we see the best potential for some of those downpours to push through. So the good news is it's not moving in during the evening commute, and many of us will likely be sleeping during this time, but you can see that potential for some very heavy rain. Could even see some thunderstorms with this pushing through overnight into tomorrow morning, especially as you move down toward the Cape and Islands. Heading into early tomorrow morning, we're waking up to a few showers, especially south and east of 95, but that will start to fade off as we head into the mid to late morning hours. So low temperatures tonight with all this rainfall in place will likely sit in the upper 50s to lower 60s, and there's not much of a warm up tomorrow because here it is. You see those clouds are very slow to break up. We actually hold on to that mostly cloudy to even overcast sky for the first half of the day. Then when we finally see some of those clouds breaking up in the afternoon and evening, there's that chance of a pop-up shower developing yet again. And so we really don't clear out and dry out until Wednesday, but I'll tell you, when we get into Wednesday, beautiful weather is heading our way. So high temperatures tomorrow topping out in the low to mid 70s, looking to stay just below average. Even as you move out inland, we do have those temperatures in the low to mid 70s as well. At Pittsfield, just about 73 degrees. That heat is down to our south. That will be moving our way for later this work week. So your 7-day forecast includes those showers moving into the area. Keep in mind there is that potential for some very heavy rainfall totals, especially down toward the Cape where we're inching toward that 2-inch to even 3-inch mark. So that's the main area of concern tonight into tomorrow before drying out as we head into the next couple of days. Looking like a decent forecast and plenty of opportunities for going outside this week. The downpour threat, though, is starting to lower. In fact, 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. is the best time of that downpour threat, but it's mainly as you move down toward the Cape and the Islands, Nantucket especially. That's the main track of those showers. So some good news for much of the areas. We're mainly getting in on these lighter showers pushing through tonight. As we take a zoom in, you can see there's some light sprinkles that are moving through for New Hampshire right now. Manchester getting in on a few sprinkles pushing through, and also a few drops heading out westward as well toward Concord and moving down toward Haverhill as well. But as we move down toward the Cape, there's those light showers extending through. Now Nantucket, this is where we're seeing the more moderate shower activity, and that's likely where we're going to see that main track of those downpours pushing through for tonight. So that's the main concern as we move into the midnight hour. You can see light showers spreading through the area. Nothing too heavy though, not much in the way of downpours, but check out the 3 a.m. hour. Now this is when we see that best threat of downpours, and with this the chance of some thunderstorms also developing as well. So they could become rather strong, and it's the focus over the Cape and the Islands, especially Nantucket, that we'll have to watch out for that chance of some high water in spots. You can see the bulk of our region, though, missing out on that. So we're not seeing the concern for flooding widespread, very localized, mainly down toward Nantucket through the overnight hours. Now 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, you're waking up, getting ready for that morning commute. A few showers will try to linger, but that's going to be quick to shift off. By 8 a.m., we're starting to dry out, but those clouds are slow to clear. Low temperatures tonight dropping into the 60s for Boston, just about 64 in fact, but you move inland, there's a few upper 50s, so that's going to be a bit of a chill. Cool enough that if you want to open up those windows, just be prepared. There's rain pushing through, and it could become loud at times. Highs tomorrow topping out in the low to mid 70s. Now our average high temperature is about 81, so this is of course just a tad below, and it's no surprise because clouds are slow to clear tomorrow. Here's a look. Noon, we still have an overcast sky for much of the area, and even a chance of a few sprinkles still developing. We can't shake off that rain chance. and that's the case even through the 4 o'clock hour tomorrow, although you can see those clouds are finally starting to break up, suggesting some brightening and some clearing as we move towards sunset tomorrow night. That's going to be the trend right on through Wednesday as we see a really beautiful trend with our weather moving in for both Wednesday and Thursday. Tropical Storm Franklin, it is right now moving west-northwest at 13 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind, still a tropical storm as it approaches the Yucatan Peninsula. The chance of it strengthening to a hurricane will have to be monitored as we head into Wednesday. As we move throughout the rest of your 7-day forecast here locally, sunshine in place for Wednesday, Thursday, and even for Friday. But with Friday's forecast, that humidity is making a return, which means, of course, we got that stickiness factor with that 80-degree heat. Is going to feel hot as we kick off the weekend. Next chance of storms rolling through for Saturday. And this is the thing, we have some beautiful weather heading our way eventually, but in Maria, we're kind of stuck in the gloom right now. This is because we do have some showers moving in tonight, and we do have the threat of even some downpours, so a high impact of rainfall, mainly between 1 a.m. to 4 a.m., which luckily during that time, most of us are sleeping. But as you're heading out early tomorrow morning, especially you early commuters, 5, 6 o'clock, a few showers looking to linger at that time, so I'll have a breakdown of that coming up. Here's a look at what we're tracking. We have the heaviest downpours down to our south, and it's going to make its way north and eastward, especially for areas in southeastern Massachusetts and moving on to the Cape and Islands. You can see a few sprinkles out there right now. Keep in mind a lot of this green indicating what you would think is rainfall falling, but a lot of it having a hard time actually reaching the ground. So at this point, we're only seeing reports of a few drops moving through, and that's especially the case as you move from Plymouth down onto the Cape right now. So the Futurecast indicates that there's a chance of a few showers passing through tonight, nothing that will really slow you down. But after midnight, there's those downpours moving in, and it moves right onto Plymouth and moving onto the Cape and Islands. That's where we see the best chance of some of those downpours producing flooding as we move into the overnight hours. But we fast forward into 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and you can see that's quick to push on out. And so at that point, we start to see drier conditions filtering back in, although the clouds are likely going to linger. Low temperatures tonight down into the upper 50s to lower 60s. A cooler evening for us, especially when you throw in that wind as those storms pass through. In fact, some of those storms could be strong, especially moving down toward the Cape and Islands, where there is a threat of thunderstorms actually developing through the overnight hours. High temperatures tomorrow, well, with those clouds in place, we do top out in the 70s, which of course is below the average of 81 this time of year, but we will see a warm up heading our way soon. So we fast forward into tomorrow afternoon. Clouds, especially for areas east of 495, holding strong through the early afternoon. We could even see as we move into the late afternoon to early evening, some of that sun trying to break through, but that could bring that chance of a spot shower or two. So we're not completely in the clear tomorrow until after sunset. That's when things completely dry out and clear out. We start to calm down here locally. Meanwhile, we have Tropical Storm Franklin, and that is making its way north and westward. It is looking to actually strengthen, so we do have the chance, especially after it passes the Yucatan Peninsula, moving toward Mexico City, it actually transitioning into a hurricane. It would be a Category 1, so that's something we'll have to monitor in the days ahead. Meanwhile, locally though, lots of sunshine heading our way, low humidity for Wednesday and Thursday, so perfect days for heading to the beach. By Friday, that humidity does start to make a return, so you'll feel that mugginess in the air, which will likely stick around into next weekend, but at no point are we seeing a complete washout, even as we move toward next weekend as well. For WCVB, I'm meteorologist Kellyanne Cicalese.